An old school football principle is allowing quarterback Dak Prescott to take his game and the Dallas Cowboys offense's game to the next level. And tonight we'll talk about it. We'll hear what he had to say about it, and we'll see it on the film room as well. Here we go. What is up, everyone, and welcome into A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. I am your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central here on Dallas On Demand Sports Talk Network. With a lot more content coming your way, make sure that you hit the like button for me and check out the website. You guys are having a fun Monday night. 2 games, double header. Thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat, not in the dislike button. But do you like it? Do you dislike double headers on Monday Night Football? I'll be unbiased here and I'll say I hate it. I absolutely do. I think that the beauty of prime time is sitting down to watch just one football game. But hey, NFL smells money. NFL makes money. That's how it goes, because I was watching both, so that makes sense. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show. Hopefully Nick Chubb is fine, though. That injury looked bad. Honestly, they didn't show the replay on TV, but man, it did not look pretty. But tonight, don't worry, we will stick with Cowboys football. Just a quick couple of thoughts, though. Toxic Tom says, not when the games are awful. I do not like that. Mark Aaron says, dislike and get rid of Thursday night games as well, which I fully understand. Bruce says, Mo, I am not watching no BS Monday night game. There you go. I mean, I got to tell you, man, I am a sucker for AFC North football. I'm one of those guys, but yeah, that this is not good AFC North football right now. Anyways, let's talk about the Cowboys. And tonight, I wanted to dive deeper into something that we mentioned a little bit last night after the Cowboys Week 2 win over the New York Jets. They go 30-10, and they do it mostly, offensively speaking, really on the other side of the football, the defense just straight up dominated that ball game, because that's what they do with Michael Parsons and company in the trenches. They're just insanely good. But offensively, you saw a very calm Dak Prescott. Under pressure, he was dealing. And most of his dealing was targeting CeeDee. But ask this new Mike McCarthy offense, and I hope the Wi-Fi is not betraying me right now. The tough thing is I don't even got an indicator of my Wi-Fi right now for some weird reason. I don't know why this is acting up on me. So hopefully you guys listen to me and you guys are seeing me well. I think that it's fixed right now, but that might be wrong. I'm kind of okay. Now it seems like it is face. Old school football is taking the Cowboys offense to the next level. And Dak Prescott talked a little bit about the principle that is behind that. And it comes down to West Coast footwork, which is insane because that's been around since the late 60s in football, with Bill Walsh creating the West Coast offense when he was in Cincinnati. One of the biggest innovations of the West Coast offense was, let's tie the quarterback's dropbacks with the steps that the wide receivers are taking. So it's in my third step, this is the throw that I'm making. In my fifth step, this is what I'm doing. And then I'm bailing, I'm running, blah, blah, blah. That's been around since Bill Walsh created the West Coast offense. And in some way or form, it had to be a part of the Cowboys' previous offenses. But now you get Mike McCarthy, an old school West Coast coach who is making it an emphasis at the next level. So it's not only regular footwork that quarterbacks work on, it's a more minute attention to that aspect of Dak Prescott's game. And Dak even talked about it after the game. He said, if you watch this film, you'll see that my footwork is tied in, whether it's a hitch getting to number 2 or hell, I scrambled on the third down because my feet told me to do so. I love that so much. And I wrote about it for ADC Sports today, actually, this morning, because it reminded me of what Steve Young, former 49ers quarterback, said once about the West Coast offense. And of course, he played for Bill Walsh. And I always love that mentality that Steve Young said once in an ESPN article. He said, timing and choreography, not plays, are what makes the West Coast offense. How beautiful and well put is that for this current Cowboys team? The Cowboys are not overhauling the playbook. They're not tearing apart everything that the Cowboys did under Kellen Moore's leadership, offensively speaking. They're running the same concepts that you see in any NFL offense, to be honest, but it's the teaching of it and the mechanics of it, like the refined attention to footwork that the Cowboys are giving Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott said, if you watch this film, you'll see that my footwork is tied in exactly with the receivers. I decided, hey, maybe there's one play that really exemplifies that. And yes, there is one. It's CeeDee Lamb's 31-yard catch where he catches this land and then takes off for countless more yards after the catch. You look at the play, the Cowboys are backed up. And I actually have it right here. We'll look at the film too, but I wanted to show you the shot motions from the right side to the left side, and you're gonna get old school West Coast slant flat to the left side. CD is running they're gonna be running cover 3, and that space that you look at this play in real time, tied window right there. I love this play in so many levels, but I want to focus on Prescott's footwork when we get to the old 22 here in a moment, because we had a highlight reel of CeeDee Lamb in the Facebook and the YouTube page. Man, flag on the Wi-Fi. I know, man. I don't know what this is about. I hate it. But I think I'm going to play the clip again. And this internet, man. I hate it because it works all day long. And then it's time. It's not even playing at this point. All right, there you go. I think we're good to go. I don't know. It's not even playing for me right now. I apologize for this. Okay, let's go. 2 tight ends to the right side. So the Cowboys basically changed the passing strength of this formation, in my opinion, by motioning Hendershot to the left. Get confirmation that it's zone coverage. Gonna run slant flat to the left side of the play. And Dak Prescott is gonna thread the needle, targeting CeeDee Lamb in the slant. You might be seeing this play, but it's kind of freezing for me here and there. Boom. Now, again, those are just next gen stats dots. But let's watch the play in real time, all 22. It's on the third step for Dak Prescott that he releases the football and that he finds CeeDee Lamb in such a tight window. Like that efficiency under pressure, working with such a tight window is amazing. And I have it slow it down for you in this part of the video. Look at Dak Prescott's steps. 1, 2, 3. A tiny hitch, maybe. I would call it like a quarter of a hitch. Releases the football. Look at the window that Dak Prescott is throwing to. 1, 2, third footstep right there. And between the linebacker and the cornerback, Prescott finds CeeDee. It is refined quarterback play that we are talking about right now. I'm going to play it again in case the Wi-Fi ruined it for you guys. I hope that this is clear way. I think we're already seeing it, which is pretty fun. But the way that the Cowboys are teaching the offense to Dak Prescott is different, is new. It is new for Dak. I wonder if we'll see more under center work as a result of this. And he's already a great tight window passer, as Jay Recruiter says here in the chat. But the footwork of a West Coast offense in 2023 can really go a long way, in my opinion, even if it's an old school football concept that has become the secret for Dak and company. I love the comments with the Wi-Fi, man. I don't know what that is about. I really don't know what that whole thing is about. I think we didn't have any sort of issues last night, I believe. Anyways, sorry about that. I do apologize for the Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, I cannot control it. I can just control, what I actually say right now and how we move forward with the show. So I do apologize for that, though. Let's try to have the best show, even with the Wi-Fi issues. And by the way, I do appreciate you sticking with it and not logging off immediately. By the way, if you want to support the show, hit the like button for me. It is the single biggest thing that you can do to help put this show in front of more and more Cowboys fans. Demetrius Adams says Wi-Fi went out on Sky this morning. Then you gotta assume that somebody is sabotaging us. So it wasn't Sky's problem. It wasn't my problem. Somebody's probably sabotaging ADC Sports Dallas. At this point, it is the only conclusion that I can reach. Take a shot at guessing which Eagles content creator is doing it, because that might be honestly the one explanation to it. I might move to the hotspot if I get issues again. Right now, StreamYard is showing that the Wi-Fi is back at full strength, so probably. So yeah, all that you can do is guess who the Eagles content creator is that's sabotaging ADC Sports Dallas. Oh man, some of these comments are savage. I see LimeWire comments right now. I do know what it is. Yeah, I do know what it is. Anyways, let's move on a little bit here on the show. And speaking of CeeDee Lamb, and speaking of the small tweaks that you can see with the Mike McCarthy offense, one of the things that stood out the most to me was CeeDee's performance, in the sense that the Cowboys were able to go to him 13 times. Whereas last year, the Cowboys, playing a top-tier defense in the playoffs versus the 49ers, the 49ers took away CeeDee, and there wasn't anything that they could do. This time, you got to see the Cowboys scheming open number 88. And that is what you want to see out of a play caller. Big time credit for Mike McCarthy for doing that. And speaking of it, CeeDee Lamb talked about it today. He said, actually, this was after the game. He said, he's done a great job of moving me around, putting me in different spots, motioning me, keeping the defense guessing. You can't really guess where I'm going to be. I can run all day long, all around the field, just giving that accessibility to Mike. He has the upper hand. It is true. And you see it in very different ways. You see it in CeeDee Lamb motions, like him being the guy that moves. And you also see it with the play that we were just looking at, where you've got CeeDee starting up the play isolated to the backside. And then here comes Peyton Hendershot. And then suddenly you're changing the math on the defense and you're showing a slant flat to the left. And he's also moving around. He's getting passes from the outside, getting passes from the slot, mostly from the slot, but he can still move around and keep the defense guessing. as he says. But the motion, the work of art that the Cowboys have shown, or at least showed in week 2 versus a top tier defense, was truly remarkable. Now, I will say this again. I'm not a fan of how the Jets played CeeDee. Like, if I was a Jets fan, I probably would have been frustrated about it, because I understand you want to play zone coverage, but if CeeDee Lamb is killing you, and he was killing the Jets since early in the game, adjust to it and bracket him, get some man coverage on him with safety on top, with a safety help over the top, do something. But the Jets played CeeDee in zone coverage for the most part. When he went up against Sauce Gardner, he was targeted 3 times in 7 snaps, and Gardner allowed 2 catches with 1 forced incompletion. So maybe the time where they should want to have target number 1 wideouts and really work the offenses that way, but they didn't versus CeeDee Lamb, and they paid for it. I think that they had to pay for that mistake, because I do think it was a little bit of a disrespectful mistake against CeeDee Lamb. And there were plenty of plays where they were scheming CeeDee open. You had the play where he catches the football on the left side, and the Cowboys are using Jalen Tolbert to clear the defender damage after the catch. And in that play, with the receivers and the routes that they're running, they are actually moving the pocket. So they're moving the launch point for Dak Prescott. He snaps the football. The entire offensive line is moving to the left, basically giving him 7-man pass protection, because the tight end and the running back stayed to block, and Dak, finds CeeDee, and they move the chains. Just creative touches, easy buttons between Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And they did so against one of the best defenses in the NFL. I'm guessing that when the time comes and a team is bracketing CeeDee Lamb aggressively, the Cowboys are still going to have some calls on that play sheet to open CeeDee Lamb via scheme. And that is what you want out of Mike McCarthy. We talked about it back in the offseason. Like, hey, the Cowboys under Kellen Moore were one of the most efficient offenses going back to 2019. That's just fact. Numbers wise, they were one of the most efficient offenses when Kellen Moore was calling the plays. So maybe when the season ends, maybe we won't be talking about the Cowboys necessarily being better, statistically speaking, but it's going to be this little stuff in big games versus big defenses that we are hoping to continue to see what we saw on Wednesday. Mike McCarthy scheming CeeDee Lamb open, even without Brandon Cooks, because that's important. Brandon Cooks' absence, in my opinion, is what makes CeeDee's day all the more special. This is what we wanted to see out of Mike McCarthy. And so far, I'm very excited about what we've seen. And you guys know that I don't want to say skeptic, because I was excited about the change in a way, but I also wasn't entirely sure that Mike McCarthy was going to surprise us in the first couple of weeks. And I believe he has. On a recent tweet to judge who the Cowboys are offensively right now, because if you are keeping it real, Cowboys have played the games that have been over by the time the first quarter ends. That's just truth. Win probability website, or in the Ben Baldwin website, which you can find at rbsdm.com. And win probability has always favored the Cowboys during the first couple of weeks. Maybe week 4 could change things up versus like right now, but hopefully we see better work overall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on before we get out of here on tonight's show. And again, sorry about the Wi-Fi. It seems like it is still for that. But let me read some of your comments. comments here. Yep. Toxic Tom says we don't say that. Man's name here talking. He says, Mo, have you ever been to Acapulco? I actually have not been to Acapulco. Never. Like ever, ever, ever. I've barely been to Cancun. I was once to Cancun and it was literally for a job. So I was in there in the hotel all day long. It was a congress of my favorite sports league here in Mexico. And I was conducting a show. And co-host, pretty cool to do. But I didn't go out partying. I didn't go out to anything. I just most that I did is had some beers with my friends, my coworkers on that particular trip, which was super fun. But not ironically. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, with the Wi-Fi right now, I might have to do the hotspot thing. Shouldn't I? In Pat McAfee's words, I think that I am obligated to say that this show stinks. It just does, man. So Sky also had Wi-Fi issues. I think that's I think you cannot make that up, bro. I think there's something weird there. Somebody's messing with us. That's the only conclusion that we can reach. Mo, the Eagles haters are hacking the show. Shake my head, says Bruce. Toxic says, Mo, why are you on Mac? I'm gonna try to. I'm frustrating, and it sucks that I cannot do anything about it. Not a lot, not a whole lot. Not even my house, the phone provider right now that is messing this whole thing up. Uh, uh, El Pipiri Pau actually is frustrated. I can feel him because, man, this is a frustrating situation. And anyways, don't jinx our next games, says Anthony. Oh no, don't worry. I don't jinx them. Not in the way to me to jinx it, but Cardinals should be an easy win if we're being totally objective here. All right, I think we're kind of back right now. While the Wi-Fi is good, let's get to the final play that I wanted. That Malik Hooker had the best defensive grade out of any Cowboy player on week 2 because he did. And if you see the dots here, you might see why. This is the play where Malik Hooker ended up with the interception. The Cowboys are showing a 2-high shell, so Juan J. Thomas is up there playing as a high safety, but they're actually playing cover 1. So Hooker is going to go on top. Juan J. Thomas is going to get in these rubber under on defense, so they're dropping back deep. Say that it's technique. Look at the range. This is where Zach Wilson has just now released the football. Look at where Malik Hooker is. Look at where Garrett Wilson is. And look at that closing speed. This is just the next gen stats dots. I don't have the all 22 clip yet. I hope to have more of that by Tuesday night. But so far, man, this play from Malik Hooker, pretty impressive. He is on the other side of the field, plays cover 1. So he's playing the center field. And he does look exact. 2023, starting to get that recognition. But Malik Hooker is in big part the reason why the Cowboys secondary isn't tested as much lately. He closed pretty fast, says Tommy915. I could see Micah teleport as usual on the play, says El Pipiripao. I actually did not notice that. Let's look at Micah, because that's a cool observation. Cowboys are showing this look with Garrett Wilson. Is he getting a pressure on this play? Easy. Because look at where he's lined up. What is that split? He's playing like, I don't think that's a 9 technique. I think that's way wider. And yeah, he does get, I don't know if he gets pressure in that play. I would need to watch the old 22 tape for that one. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, injury watch. I'm just going to say, just to not punish you anymore with this Wi-Fi, not punish myself with it as well. Injury watch, Zach Martin, not guaranteed. And Martin, but hopefully everything will be fine. Ronald Jones was released. Suspension came to an end. And I think that him being better than the young backs is what costs his job. So I'm not very surprised at the actual release, but it did happen, so we had to talk about it. Chuma Edoga is the other player that is expected to miss the start of practice, but he also has an opportunity to play on Sunday. I don't know if Tyler Smith is going to be questionable or doubtful leading up to week 3, but hopefully Chuma is ready to go regardless, because you don't want to see TJ Voss in there yet. Chuma is more experienced. Chuma is going to look better right now. Who knows in the future? Cowboys are hoping TJ Voss is a better player in the future, but right now it's week 3 and he's an undrafted rookie, so it's going to take some time. Hopefully Chuma and Martin are both ready to go, but the Cowboys sound a little bit non-committal to it so far. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the show tonight. Thank you so much for sticking with me tonight, because that was a frustrating night for Wi-Fi. Not great Wi-Fi. I don't know why. It was going well soon, so maybe wherever I go ends up having like better Wi-Fi. Because for some reasons here we cannot get the top Wi-Fi speed that we want. Or somebody mentioned the RAM memory for the PC. Maybe good new computer, so hopefully anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking with me tonight. Do me a favor, hit the like button, even if the show stunk because of the freaking internet. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, with better Wi-Fi, I promise. See you tomorrow. Muchísimas gracias.